Hey everybody, aloha. Uh, hopefully you folks can hear me now. It looks like YouTube was having a little issue with the connector that I use, so I apologize for going up a couple of minutes ago and then jumping it down, but apparently it was at their end. So we got a couple of things going today. As I'm going to talk about two major issues, and then we're going to do a little Q&A. Um, First of all, I want to talk about Maya. I was in Chula Vista today with Mary, Chris, and Richard and the family. We had an amazing meeting with Chula Vista Police Department and the law enforcement authorities there. Had an opportunity, actually, quite frankly, almost 3 hour meeting. And I need to tell you with full confidence, they are on the ball and things are moving in the right direction. And Mary Chris and Richard got some long awaited answers, and they feel very confident that a partnership has been created with those guys. So that is great news. Absolutely amazing news for that sweet family. There's going to be some more searching coming up. I'll let Mary Chris and Richard tell you about that. They've got some areas that they're going to focus on. So that is good in of itself as well. So kudos to their family. I tell you, the more I hang out with them, the more I love them. This is a really amazing family. Maya came from amazing, humble beginnings, and then, of course, they live the American dream. So I am sitting here in my truck. Uh, Recently, wrapping those meetings up, and then, of course, everybody heard about the news with Barry, the additional charges there. The We'll get into that here in a couple of minutes, but just kind of want to make sure that everybody's brought up to speed in Maya Millete investigation. Again, shout out to Chula Vista PD. They are on it. They have the FBI, they have NCIS, and of course, Chula Vista's taken the lead on that. So things are headed in the right direction, guys. It really is. So all of you folks in the San Diego area, um, you know, good job. Keep it up. Mary, Chris, and Richard are going to still need you. This is a fluid situation, and everybody knows when I'm usually in the area, that's a good thing. So we'll see what happens. But things are moving in the absolute right direction. So keep them in your prayers, and keep the faith on them. So shout out to everybody that's here. God bless you for being here. All of our mods who are jumping in here. Great to have you here. Let me see who's in the house. Mimi J2, Maui Girl, and I don't want to forget anybody. And forgive me, Miss Sophia. Thank you. Uh, let's see here. Who else we got? I see Farm Dairy. Thank you so much for jumping in here, becoming a new member. We're grateful for that. You folks are just absolutely amazing. It's so neat to have this platform, and it's so neat to have the opportunity to work with these great families through this. And remember, this is just the beginning of probably many more out there, unfortunately. And I get a lot of emails from you all. I want you to know, I try to be sensitive to each of them, and then simultaneously, wanting to make sure that I balance, correctly, that I can be a real positive influence and help as we can there. So, Sophie H, great to see you. Ms. Karen, hi from New Zealand. All of our mods, again, thank you so much. So this is an update initially on Maya, her case. The family met with Chula Vista Police Department for just, I think, close to 3 hours. I was there with them, and it is just fantastic, the relationship that they have created there now, and hopefully some good things happening there. So let's talk about the bear, right? I mean, everybody's heard. He got some high-powered hitters, some swingers today, and it's interesting. They're both women, Eytan and Drew Nielsen, and the public defender's office looks like they picked them up. So on the affidavits that we saw today, uh, the first guy there is the head of the public defender's office. These other gals, guess what, right? So take a guess at what kind of cases they recently represented, and they also got one of the guys off. Well, they got the guy off recently. So essentially, uh, I'll give you an example. Drew, uh, she is she's been an attorney, graduating law school in 1997. She's been aggressively defending people who commit crimes, and she's won a lot of dozens of not guilty verdicts at trial. It's her ability to successfully resolve serious cases prior to trial that, quite frankly, has earned her, the respect of not only her opponents but her clients alike. She knows all stages of the defense business. She's an aggressive defender, and recently, in a case called People versus Michael Kimbo, her partner Iris, who Barry just hired as well, they exonerated Mr. Kimball after a 2-week trial where he was accused of murdering his wife, believe it or not, in the first degree. So they were able to get him off of that. So Barry has brought in, some folks that are used to, quite frankly, dealing with guys like him. There's an old saying: when you don't have a case, try the investigators and the investigation. So it's going to be interesting to see how this thing spins. They don't have a case if the investigators go on trial. If the detectives are put on trial, then for a fact the defense knows there's a lot of problems at the end. So guess what? What do they have to deal with now? What we saw today come out in Barry's charges. Well, first of all, they held back on count 2 and count 4. So count 2, which you saw, I know Mike was up and I know Linda was up a little bit ago, tampering with a deceased human body. I don't know about you, but he's going to need 2 high-powered attorneys if the DA, Linda, has brought that charge on. Okay? Now, what that means specifically, and my gut's telling me, based on being on the ground for quite some time now, is somebody's talking. Okay? Now, I don't know that for a fact, but when you hold back those 2 charges, i.e., tampering with a human body, i.e., there is some other verbiage in this. If you haven't had a chance to see it, I'm going to go ahead and put it up. We'll put it up, in a little bit after this live. But between May 9th and May 10th, Barry Morphew, believing that an official proceeding was pending, in progress, or about to be instituted, and acting without legal right or authority, unlawfully and feloniously, willfully destroyed, mutilated, concealed, removed, or altered a human body or part of a human body or human remains, with intent to impair its appearance or availability of official proceedings, i.e., he tried to hide human remains. That's what that means. That's what that means. And so this goes into some of the things that we've been talking about for quite some time. And so, unfortunately, that's a big ticket item right there, number 2. They held that till today. my my experience tells me that they had to line up a couple of things before the DA would put that into the environment. Okay, but what that tells us, and all of us that have suspected, some things here, it appears there that he was moving. I hate to say this, but it appears that he was moving, a mutilated body, and the interesting thing here is the time frame, May 9th to May 10th, which is consistent with some of the information that was presented early on in this case, with the communications that had pretty much stopped in relationship to her talking to some of her sweet girlfriends there. So that is much different than just representing some guy that they're charging with you know taking the life of his wife. And these two attorneys, Drew and Irish, it looks like they were handpicked by the PD's office. I don't have insight yet as who's paying for it. They could be privately being paid for, or the public defender's office could argue that they need these two gals, and that the PD's office at that point would also pick up the tab. So we'll see what happens on that piece of the puzzle. So right now, I don't have information about that. Maybe one of the other channels out there may have a little more information, but I don't. Now here's count three, tampering with physical evidence. Again, that goes towards the same date, but they extended it to March 4th, 2021. So you've got physical evidence tampering between the dates of May 9th, 2020 and May 9th, 2020 and May 10th, 2020. That's with tampering with deceased human body, and then tampering with physical evidence, May 9th and March 4th, 2021. So he may have tried to move her, and they were on it, which, again, goes back to some of the other information that we had talked about previously. And then possession of a dangerous weapon, knowingly, count 4. Between May 9th and March 4th, he unlawfully knowingly possessed a dangerous weapon, namely a short rifle, in violation of 1812-102-3, California Penal Code up there. And then this one is really interesting. So remember, we were talking about, the attempting to influence a public servant, right? Well, in this particular case, look who those public servants are. These are the investigators. Joseph Cahill, Derek Graham, Kenneth Harris. So somewhere in this game that he was playing, okay, he tried to influence the investigators who are investigating him for the disappearance of his wife. So it's going to be interesting to see how that falls into place. But so with the intent of thereby to alter or affect the public servant's decision, vote, opinion, or action concerning the matter for which they're considered performed by their public servant, the agency or body of which the public servant was a member. Now think about that. You got Cahill and Graham, who are both CBI agents. You've got Barry over here trying to influence them about, maybe, hey, don't go down this road, don't go down that road, in terms of, give me a chance here. Okay. Now, I find that piece of this puzzle absolutely fascinating within of itself. Okay. It just goes to show you how narcissistic this guy is, that he thinks that, you know what, I'm running out of options here. So what I'll do is I'll just go at the investigators. Okay. And that's essentially what he did. And so that last count that they charged him with today, count 5 now, uh, is all about, uh, trying to influence the investigation. So once again, he was trying to control the narrative, trying to control the narrative. Now, if we think about that, if we think about that, can you imagine what Suzanne was under? What kind of pressure she was under? If this guy's got the chutzpah to take on CBI, and I'm assuming there's a couple of FBI agents in there. I haven't looked all their names up yet, but I know Graham and Cahill for sure. Those are CBI agents, and Cahill's the case agent, so he's like the lead guy, on that side. And then of course you have the sheriff department, Chaffee County Sheriff Department. Okay, so I love this DA already, Linda. She's going to be an absolute ball of fire, and the fact that she held this, and dropped it on the public today during the time that he goes out and tries to pull in two big hitters who have defended other men against killing their wives. Man, I got to tell you, that's one heck of a chess move. That is one heck of a chess move, and good for her. She is going to be an absolute fascinating DA, and watch her office kind of get these things moving in the right direction. Thank you, LM. I appreciate that. So, that's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing. So, shout out to Linda. Wow, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool that she took it on. Heather, when do you think we'll see the arrest affidavit? Let me put this up here. When do you think we'll see the arrest? I guess they're still gathering evidence since the new charges appeared. Yeah, that could be. Absolutely. But here's what happened a couple of days ago behind the scenes. So the defense had to have, a heads up that Barry was going to make a move here and try to get, better attorneys, right? From everything that I've heard, to date, is every one of these PDs down there, these public defenders down there, they're pretty good. They're pretty sharp. So essentially, what I think probably happened is his public defender had a meeting with his boss, and that's who's listed on the motion to basically change the attorneys. Right? These are court appointed attorneys, so they have to file these different affidavits to say, hey, here's the reason why I want to change. And then of course at that point, the boss down at the PD's office, depending on what their rules are, they get an opportunity to say, hey, what's the totality of this case? And if the public defender's office feels like they want to, then they can reach outside of the box, for lack of a better term, at the office and go ahead and take second fiddle to these new attorneys, this Drew Nielsen and Iris Eytan. Okay, so these two gals who have been brought in to represent Barry now. Today was just a formality of bringing this to the court, but simultaneously, what we saw was DA Stanley she took a bat and threw the ball and just hit a home run and said, okay, fine, you're going to have these power hitters come in? Not a problem, Barry. Oh, by the way, did I tell you I was going to arrest you for mutilating a human body, or charge you for mutilating a human body? And then also for trying to influence the investigation, i.e. the investigators. Okay. So a brilliant move on her part. I've been to a lot of murder trials and sat at that table, and I told you guys up front, she's going to be something to reckon with. So it looks like it's going to be, total girl power here in the courtroom. And I don't think we could have asked for a greater honor for Suzanne, quite frankly, because I think, these women are going to be unbelievable. And I've sat next to a lot of DAs, and quite frankly, I've always feared a really smart woman who knows what she's doing in the courtroom. They are amazing and brutal and good. So Barry, batter up, as they say in the minor leagues. But my gut tells me you're going to meet your match here in a little bit. So what else we got here? Gene, can Trevor or George be charged with withholding information? You know what? That is a great question, Jelly Beam, and thank you for that question. Absolutely. If the investigation shows that they were accessory after the fact, and or withheld evidence, or that they knew something and they interfered in the investigation, absolutely, absolutely, they're not out of the woods. They are not out of the woods if the evidence points in their direction. So we're just going to have to see, how that works there. But this latest charge here. Let me see here. Let me pull it up again. If you're just joining us, we're just talking about a couple of updates today. The first one, obviously, is with Maya. Had an opportunity to meet with Chula Vista Police Department today and Maya's family. If you look on the news on YouTube down in San Diego, they made a statement down there, and things are headed in the right direction down there as well, folks, here in San Diego. So, God bless that family. Keep them in your prayers. And while I was in that meeting, obviously this information dropped. But I think this was a strategic move by Linda, by the DA, because she dropped this right at the same time Barry said he was going to go and get a new group of attorneys. So the way that happened, essentially, is the public defender's office head went out and had the opportunity to bring these new power hitters in. So Jan says, how do they know she had been mutilated? You know what? I will tell you that there is information about that, and I've kind of talked about that recently in one of the other videos out there. I don't have. I talked to somebody a long time ago that brought that up, and then of course we kind of kept that in our under our hat, and I'm going to continue to do that. And I know you understand why, because if this thing does go to trial, I don't want to give these two young ladies who just jumped in here as his new defense attorney any evidence that potentially they could use against Suzanne. So, can you explain the time limit set on charges? Yeah. So there's a couple of laws out there. One of them is Brady, where the defense has to or the prosecution has to drop all evidence over to the defense. And so sometimes there is, a set time frame. But when you're charged with first-degree murder in the state of Colorado, you're not going anywhere, number one. And number two, the courts, remember Lady Justice is blind, right? Remember, she carries two scales and she's got a blindfold on. Okay. So what the court did here is, behind the scenes, they said to the defense, said, look, what's your argument against the affidavit of arrest coming out? Well, Miss Linda Stanley said, oh, no, yeah, let it out. Let it out. Let everybody know. Okay. Well, the defense, obviously, they don't want the public seeing what's in these affidavits right now. And then simultaneously, he probably knew that his boss was going to bring in Drew Nielsen and Iris Eytan. Okay, and we're going to put their links at the bottom of this broadcast here, so you can get over and get to know these. Who's going to defend him. Their claim to fame is, that they represented, past individuals that have been charged for murdering their wives, and they have gotten acquittals on them. So these folks need to be taken seriously, and that's what our system is about. Okay, that's what our system about. So, that said, this is another reason why all of us, as we keep going through, Maya's case, for an example, we just need to be. There's an old saying in Hawaii that says "akamai," okay? And what akamai means is just be aware and alert. Okay. And so as we go through supporting Maya and her family, this is why in this particular, on our channel here and our great mods and each and every one of you, our members, we absolutely love you. We don't deal in speculation. We're just not shooting from the hip here. I'm actually in San Diego. I was with the family today. I met with the Chula Vista and the family. So it's the same, for Suzanne. We try to keep it, close to the vest for this very reason. So when these powerhouses come in, or these defense attorneys come in, we haven't given them. We haven't given them any room. Okay, and my hat is off to each and every one of you who is part of this true crime community out here on YouTube. This has been a force for good. And I think, everybody here is saying, or is of the same frame of mind that, look, we just we don't want to give them any room. If they're guilty, they're guilty. If they're not, they're not. And we have to, weigh that out, for innocent till proven guilty. So that's their job now. They have to prove he's innocent. She could be more. Thanks for not giving up on Suzanne Maya and all your Karen's hard way. Thank you, Kat. And it doesn't have to be more. The fact that you're here is more than enough. Okay, that's more than enough, and we're very, very grateful for you. So, and thank you very much for your kindness, and everybody, thank you so much for all your kindness, your donations, everything has just been absolutely appreciated. I want to send the love from the Millete family to each of you. Uh, and look at these cool face masks that they made for her. Is this cool or what? Okay, this is pretty cool for Maya and for Suzanne. God bless her. But as all of us, we all made a commitment to be here for her, and we're doing that. We're here for Suzanne. We're here for Maya, and I have not forgotten about Kelly. I can promise you guys, I am not going to forget about Kelly Brannon. Trust me, I've been doing some stuff behind the scenes on that as well. And those of you who are coming to know me, and you'll see that that situation is not going to go away either. These women deserve a voice and they deserve justice. And if I can help with that voice and help, lead some things along, then that's exactly what we're going to do, right? And we do it together as a community, and we do it together as a channel, and we do it together as friends. That's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. Thank you, Katie. You're grateful. We're very grateful. So, so let's talk about some of the changes here. Let's go ahead and put your thoughts in here, as you know how I am. Put your thoughts in here, and let's see if we can. I'll take some of your questions here and make sure that we get some of these things answered for you today. So if you're just joining us, we're going to talk about Barry, and we're going to talk about Suzanne, and we're going to talk about Maya. Okay, so if anybody has any of these, anything that's been on your mind or weighing on your heart, go ahead and put can they have found a body but not tell us, Boja wife? Yes, they could have, absolutely. Or I don't want to be grotesque, but they could have found some of her. Okay, and they're holding it. They're holding it back, and that will be the next move potentially that we would see. So, let's pray that those three dogs that hit on one of those trees a long time ago. Maybe this is maybe this is part of the situation here. Okay, praying for Maya. Hope so are we. Thank you so much. Grateful for that. And so if you think about now, the depth of what took place here, I just love an absolutely smart attorney. And I'll tell you, this Miss Linda, man, she's going to be a force to reckon with out there in the DA's office. Uh, she is absolutely going to be a force to be reckoned with because, and today was a perfect example because here he goes, he makes a move that he's going to get a new attorney and actually two powerhouses, and he knew who they are. He knows who they are, right? They've probably talked to him already in the jail. They probably interviewed him, and I'm sure they did their howdy duties, right? Which a good defense attorney does, right? But simultaneously, okay, the Linda, the DA, well, while the information comes out that, Your Honor, we have a motion here to change attorneys, well, what does she do? Okay. She stacks two charges on top of it. And one of them, one of them is all about, mutilation or, they're being, tampering with a mutilated body. Folks, that's huge. That's huge. That's huge news. That is huge news. And Mimi J too. Yes, research those lawyers for the very reason he's guilty. Yeah, case closed. Yeah, yeah. So and these two lawyers, go look them up. I'm going to put their bios down when we're done here. But let me spell their names for you. And D man, if you're out there, can you put these names? Actually, you know what? Let me put it in for you. It's and I'm gonna put the links in here. And when you guys get a chance at the end of this, okay, so I'm gonna put one of them here. All right, I'll put this one in. So this is the first. That's Drew, and then this is the second. And oh, okay, links are in there. So my Karen is telling me the links are going to be in the description as well, but I'll put it here in the chat as well. Okay. These gals have represented men who have murdered their wives. Go figure. Go figure. And so those links are going to be in the description, and I put them down. I just put them into the chat as well. Could it be? Let's see here. Okay, could it be, Chris, that near Barry's home had anything to do with Suzanne's disappearance? That's possible, but remember, I've never been able to leave the house. Okay. And I shot out of that house. Yeah, I'm gonna stay in that neighborhood still. I don't have anything giving me any indication that will pull us away from it. So Cheryl and Thompson ask, could Tyson Draper be called as a witness? Yeah, absolutely. He kicked this all off, as we know, with that video that he got of Barry making that statement. Those really are the only two pieces of evidence outside of Barry himself, saying something that got that piece of evidence. And yeah, absolutely, he could be called. And that's the one thing that I love about Tyson in the very beginning of this whole thing. And I kept some things close to the chest, but the moment I saw that, I was like, wow, this guy, he's got him. And then, of course, 27 seconds, we learned later that, and I have this firsthand from somebody that was there. I shared that with you. Trevor's the one that put that video together spontaneously for that 27-second video that Barry puts up, looking for Suzanne. So Trevor could be called as well. And that's going to be an interesting day because if Trevor takes the stand, then the prosecution has, the opportunity to cross-examine him. And so the defense can put him on as a defense witness. But remember, the prosecution gets two bites of the apple, right? They have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that, Barry didn't do this or that Barry did this. And that means the defense has to prove that Barry didn't do it. So the prosecution gets to put their case on. They call it the case in chief or the people's case. And they represent the state of Colorado and, of course, Suzanne. Then the defense comes in. They get to have their piece of the pie, and they get to put witnesses on about who Barry is, and all of this other stuff. And that's how our system works. Thanks goodness, right? Thank goodness. But then the prosecution gets to come back, okay? And they get another bite at the apple, okay? And they get to call witnesses. They call it the scope, right? Whatever road the defense went down, then the prosecution gets to now go down that same road, i.e., the scope of that type of questioning. Okay, and that sometimes can open up Pandora's box, especially in a case like this. Especially in a case like this. And Above and Beyond says, "Karma's coming." Thank you, Above and Beyond. You're very sweet. Yeah, I believe that too. I believe there's some serious karma coming, man. And if we didn't already see that first move today, we may think this is just a 20-second drop a quarter and push the jukebox and everybody's playing the same music. No, Linda had this planned, man, and this was strategic, and it was literally, go ahead, make a move. And the moment they did, all she did was put a landmine out in front of them. And this defense now knows, okay, we have to be very careful how we move this case along in the court of public opinion. Okay, because what Linda did is she dropped simultaneously the other charges and attached them today, and put them in the environment. And one of those obviously is extremely brutal. It's talking about mutilation of somebody. Okay, uh, of course they mentioned, thank you Texas gal, hook 'em horns, down there. Love Texas. And so the fact that she just basically set a landmine for them, and they stepped in it. Okay, and they stepped in it pretty slick. So I can't wait. I just can't wait for the next piece of this because this is going to be a chess game, from this point here. As this develops, whoops, I wonder if he chose a lawyer that thought of a plea revealed where she is and plead to maybe. You know what? That is a great question, Lacey. That is a great question. He could have chosen them for just that reason. Yeah, absolutely. As this developed, could there be more charges that pop up? Well, I'll be. Yes. Yes, most definitely. In fact, as you know, if you're new to my channel, I have a saying: put your seatbelt on. Okay. My guess is going to be that there's going to be a lot more coming down the pipeline here, and as a result of that, uh, remember right now the reason the affidavit's being held up is because the defense filed a motion to keep it sealed. And of course, the DA, Linda's like, no, let's put it out in the environment. You got nothing to hide. And so the court said, you know what, you go back and you come back with a writ and argue why I should not release this. Because remember, the law said, the court gave him 7 days, 7 days to come back with a reason not to release the affidavit. So then what they did, the defense, right, is they repositioned themselves and probably bought time by going back to the public defender's office. And you'll see in that writ today that the head PD is listed there. I forget his name off the top of my head here for a second, but I'll look it up here again here in a second. Here, let me see where we're at. That's one. Hang on, sorry. But essentially, and I'll just paraphrase, the head public defender goes out and, probably buys some time, and they retain this Drew Nielsen and Iris Eytan. Okay? And these two public defenders uh, have represented men who have killed their wives. And they have gotten them off as a result of that. Okay. Now, I don't know about you. Okay? I don't know about you, but I find it really interesting that a guy who's, you know, said, I'm looking for my wife, okay, goes out and hires, you know, or at least has his team, the PD's office. And I'm trying to move my laptop into one position. I apologize if it's bouncing. Goes out and hires, these two gals who have extensive court experience in, representing men who kill their their wives. Okay, so these two are very aggressive, top criminal defense attorneys in Colorado, and let's see here. She's been this. I'll give you right here. Drew has been with the PD's office for over a decade, and she left the PD's office in 2007 and joined Iris's firm with Larry Ponzer and Ponzer and Riley in 2015, and she became a partner. And she has a very high reputation, highest level of service, and to those facing wrongdoing. She's one of Colorado's top 100 super lawyers and top 50 women super lawyers in the state. So in 2017, she did some amazing criminal defense work. And that was in the Michael Kimball case. And then Irish, she is also a high-powered criminal defense attorney. She's brought more than 50 cases to trial. She comes from UCSD, graduating in 1994 with her JD, and then she also graduated with honors from the University of Arizona in psychology in 1991. She is the 5280 top lawyers of 2015 through 2021. She's described as being one of the best criminal defense lawyers in Law Week in 2019-2020. U.S. News and World Report says this firm is one of the best law firms in America. Colorado Criminal Defense General Practice. And the list goes on. These lawyers coming to Barry here aren't spring chickens, but I don't think they quite. I think they underestimate the DA here. I think Barry underestimates Linda, and so we'll see how that's going to go. Lisa Hogan, thank you. Do you think Barry has heard about Irish and Drew on True Crime Podcast? You know what? That is a great question. Wouldn't that be interesting if he had? Wow, boy, that would be a really interesting piece of evidence. And so, if anybody has ever heard of these attorneys, and there is a true crime broadcast out there, and you have heard it, send it over to CBI. That is an outstanding question and potential investigative lead. Yeah, really. Wow. Let's see here. What else we got going here? This is all strategy, no question about it. No question about it. All strategy here for the defense and for the DA. But I'm here to tell you, I heard that affidavit is huge. It's huge in terms of its length. And as soon as it hits the environment, I promise you I'll have it. Okay? But here's what I do know about it. It's long, it's big, okay, and that means you know this DA knows exactly what time it is, and the fact that she told the public today that we're not just talking about a person who killed their wife and has been charged with that. Okay, Barry has been charged with specifically first degree murder, and let me read this to you. Okay, between between and including May 9th and May 10th. Now listen to that verbiage. Between and including. So that means Suzanne, okay, was probably her demise occurred May 9th, early May 10th. So probably either all sometime during May 9th or early into the morning of May 10th. Barry Lee Morphew unlawfully, feloniously, after deliberation and with the intent to cause the death of another person other than himself, caused the death of Suzanne Morphew. So, this count one today that Linda Stanley released today is specific. In the DA's mind, there is, as we used to call sod, okay, some other dude, okay. There is no question that sod does not exist. It is Barry Morphew, okay. And now the DA releases count two, tampering with a deceased human body. Okay, so that means Suzanne is deceased, and between and including May 9th, 2020 and May 10th, Barry Lee Morphew, believing that an official proceeding was pending, i.e., he thought about an investigation, was pending, in progress, or is about to be instituted, and acting without legal right or authority, unlawfully and feloniously, willfully destroyed, mutilated, concealed, removed, or altered a human body, part of a human body, or human remains with intent to impair its or their appearance or availability in the official proceedings in violation. So basically, what that says is he took every effort to go out of his way, thinking there was the cops were coming. So what does he have to do? He has to hide her. He has to, you know, it sounds like, you know, do unimaginable things to her body. Okay? You know, based on what I just read there, thank the Lord, she was probably already deceased. Okay? So thank goodness, she didn't feel any of that. Okay? But now he's got to be going, or that count two now says, okay, I got to get rid of her. I have to move on this. Okay? So that's what he did. He's disposed her. Okay? And isn't that interesting now that facade of that token down by the tree again comes back to a disposal of anything connected to Suzanne. This is why it's important to go back and watch the video I did about Barry's mindset. When I talked about how some of the, the way he went through life. Okay, it's important to understanding. Um, it's important to understand that he had a disposition quickly, okay, to handle his business. Remember, he was he was actually timed one time skinning a raccoon in less than 27 seconds because it was too much weight to carry. So out in the field, he traps it and immediately skins it out in the field and takes the pelt with him. Okay, so what do we got here? Uber Goober. Okay, I'm confused about the third count, possession of a dangerous weapon. Can you explain, please? Does that mean that there could be a dangerous weapon used? Okay, great question, right? So let's go break that down here a little bit more. So let's take a look at count three. Okay, count three, tampering with physical evidence. Um, okay, that's actually count four. Um, okay, Uber Gober. So it's actually count four, but let's go over count three, and then we'll go to count four. Okay, so between and including May 9th, 2020 and March 4th, 2021, Barry Lee Morphew, believing that official proceeding was pending or about to be instituted, and acting without legal right or authority, unlawfully and feloniously destroyed, mutilated, concealed, removed, or altered physical evidence with the intent to impair its variety or availability in the pending. So basically, uh, count two is desecrating the body. Count three is removing the body. Count four, which is the possession of a dangerous weapon, between and including May 9th and March 4th, Barry Lee Morphew unlawfully, feloniously, and knowingly possessed a dangerous weapon, namely short rifle, in violation. Okay, so that could be one of two things. Either the weapon was used and then destroyed, and when they say short rifle, that where that can go is anybody's guess. Okay, but the fact that they're specific to that type of description, okay, namely short rifle, that means they've been looking for that weapon, and they have evidence that he was in possession of that weapon, okay, at some point. So, could he have used it? It's possible. So we'll just have to wait to see what the affidavit says. But that's essentially where they're going. Uber Goober, thank you, and Dre Latina, thank you so much. It's great to see you. By the way, it's fantastic to see you here. Thank you. Is there if there has been no body found, how could there be charges regarding desecration of her body? Well, and that is a great point. So they have to. My gut tells me they've got a witness. They've got somebody that has dropped some information, and they've been holding that close to the chest. Remember, we talked to somebody a long time ago that gave us some information, which immediately we knew that the CBI also had the same, intel, and that dealt with those trees. So let's see, if that's going to be correlated. So Doctor or Dre Latina, that's it could be, or they could have evidence. They could have enough evidence in the house. Let's say there was evidence of more than 6 pints of blood. Right, the human body can only it has to sustain itself with 6 pints of blood. So let's say they have blood evidence in the house. Okay. That in of itself could be evidence of tampering and evidence that no human body or no human being could survive that type of blood drainage. Okay. We've seen many cases like that, so that they can try him again. This would be that circumstantial idea of the wet footprints leaving the swimming pool and going into the house. The question is, the defense has to prove that it's not Barry's feet, making those footprints, and the prosecution only has to prove that it is a human foot that made those footprints. And so it's up to the jury at that point to decide. So that in of itself is huge. Um, okay, so then the next charge, count 5. This one is attempt to influence a public. Oh, I'm back. I don't know what just happened, but it just dropped off with modern technology. I'm back. Um, so as Pee Wee Herman said, whoops, I meant to do that. You know, back in the day when he fell off his bike, remember that he fell over. Whoops, I meant to do that. You know, I didn't mean to do that, but so count 5. Count 5 is really interesting. So this one absolutely blows my mind. So in this one, between and including May 10th, this is the day the investigation starts, and May 10th, Morphew unlawfully and feloniously attempted to influence Damon Brown, Layman Mullinex, whoever that is, forgive me for screwing your name up, Robin Burgess, Alexander Walker, Joseph Cahill, who's CBI, Derek Graham, who's CBI, Kenneth Harris, and Jonathan Grising, public servants. So these are all investigators. These are all investigators. Oh my gosh, this is great. Okay? By means of deceit, he's lying to all of these guys. Okay? And then he goes by means of deceit with the intent thereby to alter or affect the public servant's decision, i.e., he could be, lying and asking, for maybe a favor. He could be sending them off in a wild goose chase on purpose. Alter the public servant's decision, vote, opinion, or action concerning a matter which was to be considered or performed by the public servant or the agency or body which the public servant was a member. So basically, he's trying to influence the detectives to buy his story. He's selling the Brooklyn Bridge. I love this guy. Okay? Not literally. He's got chutzpah. This guy is, narcissistic level 9,000, Allegra 1, exactly. Narc level 9,000. Okay? 9,000. Karen Porter, you've got a question here. Let's see here. Where did it go? Right there. Could the weapon have been found during a search warrant? Maybe Colorado has a law against sawed-off shotguns. That could be. Absolutely. That could be a sawed-off shotgun. Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. Short rifle, right? Yeah, good point, Karen. Thank you for pointing that out. Thank you for your kindness there. So this guy, he's trying to control the narrative. Now think about this, right? He's just coming off of, and by the way, I know for a fact, the day that he came back from Denver, the Denver area, that moment, they were waiting. And when he pulled up, they impounded his truck. They impounded all the Range Rovers. And they took those immediately. They also took everybody's phone, including Barry's. Okay? Including Barry's. So that day, can you imagine, the curly shuffle that, that he's selling? Okay? That he's selling at that moment. So, he's on full auto at that point. You know, what Barry has been using all his life is the ability to talk himself out or around, you know, self-responsibility. Well, in this particular case, these folks are not buying it. They're not buying it. Okay? And then, of course, you know, you get down the street here, you know, where he's looking for the helmet at the you know, the supermarket. Sorry about that. I think YouTube's having a problem again. It just keeps butting me out here, but that's okay. Uh, as as you know, as he goes down the street there, the idea that, hey, by the way, we're looking for a helmet. I can see a real pattern in the way he does things here, and this is just consistent with how things are with him. I mean, think about it. He tried selling us the Facebook ad. Okay? Then he tried selling, you know, the clerk down at the store, you know, hey, I'm looking for a helmet. Then, you know, he tried selling Andy to sell the public that bicycle story. Okay? So, you know, he's really this. If we think about how he acts and how he falls in line, this charge number 5 just goes right along with, you know, the behavioral analysis of him and how it plugs in. So go back to that video that we showed you where what we learned about him. And DJ, thank you. Great. You're all doing a bad. Susan Maya, I see Barry's last mugshot figure result, at least one attempt to influence a public servant. They got him, as you say. Hook him and book him. Yeah. Thank you, DC. Exactly. Hook him and book him. And I'll tell you what, this Linda Stanley, this DA is going to be, you know, she's going to be a force to be reckoned with, man. This is going to be a force to be reckoned with. And remember, they held that house. Let's not forget, FBI held that house for 11 days. 11 days. So I can't wait for that affidavit to come out. And you can bet there is some serious, you know, hurting going on behind the scenes. They're arguing about, you know, a lot of great stuff. And I see John's here. My brother John, if you don't know, this guy here, John, he's one of my old partners. We worked many capers together. Johnny, it's great to see you. Oh my gosh, look at this. It's great to see you, bud. Thank you. Look him up, John Sebron. Not only is a great Marine, but an amazing investigator and PD guy. We worked a lot of capers together. He's hysterical. John, I'll call you later. Thanks for jumping in. You're awesome. Let's see here. We got another one. Let's see here. Another question here from Stephanie. Okay. Do you think there was camera inside or outside of the house that Ellie had seen? Maybe he was on camera killing or moving her. Well, remember, and that is a great question, Stephanie Bonnie. So thank you for that question. So remember a long time ago when I showed you those pictures, when Andy went to a certain area that the authorities came out of the woodwork. Okay? At that point, there was always a belief that there were certain items under surveillance. And so as a result of that, you know, yeah, I mean, they could have, wouldn't that be cool if Santa Claus came back to the chimney, right? That's what we used to call it. Santa Claus is coming. And, you know, in the psyche of some of these guys, right, they do return to the crime scene. Maybe they've got him on video driving by multiple times. Let's hope and pray. On Barry hiring high-profile defense, mental insanity plea. No, that I think that went out the window when he made the conscious decision. I think the insanity plea went out when he made the conscious decision to come on and tell the world that he would look for his wife at all costs, that he would do whatever it took. That 27 seconds shows that he has the mental capacity to know that the things that he is saying and doing, that the public would look at it being wrong, and that he would know that it was wrong. Okay, so I'm going to be really surprised if insanity comes up. But that's I'm not an attorney. I'm just a homicide guy. So, but I've sat next to him since 1982, and I know how they think, and I've been in that courtroom. So, he's toast if he thinks he's going to go down that lane. The main charge list is a public defender. Yeah, Ellie. So essentially, what happened is this is his last public defender's boss, and his boss then goes out. They probably have a special, fund that they hired Drew Nielsen and Iris Eytan as defense. And these two powerhouses, women come to the table with a lot of court trial experience representing men who have killed their wives. So that's going to be a good one. And Anise says, Semper Fi, John, out there. And John's a war veteran too, and I just love that guy. We've been friends for I can't tell you how long, a long time, and a great American. JLL, the fact that these attorneys could be being paid for by the state for hiring does not seem okay to me at all. Yeah, that's a possibility. Okay, that's a possibility. Yes. So I just got a text message. Let's see here, from Mary Chris, who says, yes, you can we announce that there is going to be an area to search? Yes, and she's going to bring everybody up to speed. Mary Chris and Richard, just so you guys know, they had a fantastic meeting today with the police authorities here in Chula Vista, California. And please keep them in your prayers. And they're going to line up a really important search this weekend. So pay attention to the Facebook page. And Mary Chris, if you're watching, if you want to jump on here, just let me know, and I'll send you the link. And we'll get you up here, and you folks can talk about it. Just let me know what you want to do. You know me. I'm on the team. So they had a great meeting, and look at this. Look how cool this is. They made these face shields for Maya. Okay, so if you get a chance, again, I have to tell you, they had, and I had the honor of going down there with them, talking to the investigators in terms of just being with the family, and I got to tell you, these guys are on the ball. They have not forgotten about Maya, and Mary Chris and Richard will tell you all about it. It's not my place. This is their family. But man, I love this family. They are just the salt of the earth. Again, I can't say enough about them. And everybody here has been extremely supportive of them. If you've not had a chance to go over to their GoFundMe page, go to their GoFundMe page and support them. These efforts coming this weekend is going to be another reason why that should happen. And let me see if I can find that GoFundMe page again. Let's see here. Also, if you have not had a chance to subscribe to our channel, please do. I'd be grateful for that. And it helps us, to keep moving forward and helping these good families that, hopefully we can add, a little piece of our puzzle into their life. So, please feel, if you get a chance, just hit that like button, share these videos with your friends, hit that subscribe button. I know I don't always say it, but I would be grateful for that. If you've never been here and this is your first time, please subscribe. Okay. So what else we got here? Oh, by the way, the other thing about Maya, while I'm thinking of it, Okay? We have to be very sensitive. I know that their family loves those girls. They absolutely love those girls, and so please keep them in your prayer down here in San Diego. And now, they're going to need some help this weekend, and so we're going to get them. Hopefully, get some more help down there. There's the GoFundMe. Thank you, Four Sons Mom. So grateful for that. There's Maya's GoFundMe page. And I can vouch for this family 100% like Andy. What did I say? Four Sons Mom. Okay, sorry. Thank you for putting that up for the GoFundMe page. Go over there and help them. Support that cause for them. If you haven't, they can use the help. And so this weekend they're going to do another search this Saturday coming up, and the location will be given up by Richard and Mary Chris. It's going to be something that I think they want to talk about. And yes, their wedding anniversary is May 21st. So Maya's wedding anniversary is May 21st. Okay. How can I get a Maya mask? That is a great question. If Mary Chris and Richard, I think if you show up at the search, or if I'll try to see if I can get the link, and I'll put it into here. Thank you, Hope, for subscribing. Thank you so much. I'll try to put the link into the description down below. Okay, so let's see here. Any more questions about? Let's jump back to Barry real fast. Any more questions about what we saw here today? Okay. Okay. If you have anything else on your mind about these two wonderful human beings, Maya and Suzanne? Okay, Paul Judd, a mom of three who disappeared. Okay, Miss Sophia, thank you. I see you're answering somebody. Thank you. Okay, so a couple of things. One, I can't thank our mods enough. Do we have the greatest mods or what? Right? I mean, these gals have just been absolutely, top shelf, and they keep our chat classy. They know my rules. If you've come in here to troll or just, throw hate, you're gone. You're out. See you later. That's not what we're here for. We are here to help these families and to bring awareness to these victims and these victims' families, and to assist them in any way we can possibly do with this forum known as YouTube. Okay, each one of us here, and I say each one of us, is an absolute amazing community of coming together as crowdsourced intelligence, OSIs, which is called open source intelligence, okay? And coming together to talk about how we can best assist these folks, even if it's just showing up and putting some prayers together, okay, in the chat. The families see this, and I know for a fact they're grateful, and they feel your strength. They feel your strength. So the question is, DJ Motley, is Barry on suicide watch? Probably. Yeah, probably. Or he may be so, uppity. He may try to play the game, but I got to tell you, when I interviewed some of his closest friends, he was worried that he was going to die young. His dad had this rare blood problem, and Barry has the same problem. And Barry always thought he was going to die at 58, which I thought was pretty interesting. I'll have to get the name of it. I have to get the name of what the ailment is. I have it written down, so I'll make sure that I get that, so I'm just not saying it. Okay? But I can tell you this. We interviewed, I can't tell you how many people and friends that were close to him when I went back to Indiana and spent time. And even Andy said it. Andy said, he doesn't think he's going to, be around long. And so, going down that lane with Suzanne and, her cancer, I think he checked out. I think he checked out. What is that? What do you have there? Somebody just put that down here. Ellie, I'm assuming you're a nurse, so I'm not going to try to pronounce this. Hemochromatosis. Okay, that may be it. I have to go look. Dillan, Karen, if you can look in our notes, and that may be it. So it's this. It apparently it just gave him this doomsday complex that he was going to be on his way out. So I find that interesting in of itself in his makeup, and so we'll see how that's going to play out one day. That said, one, he sold to Suzanne the Land Rover. Yes, he did sell Suzanne's Land Rover. Oh, and by the way, I got the color wrong in Indiana. It's white. I said black, but it's the white one. Okay, so there were two white ones, and one of them was out in front of his house the night before he was arrested, and I think one of the girls are driving that. Okay, and then the other one is the one that he sold to his friend's wife. If you can believe that, yeah, I couldn't believe it until it's the truth. It's the truth. He sold Suzanne's car about 2 weeks after she disappeared, to a gal up in Indiana, and you know who you are if you're watching, okay? Just crazy, just crazy. Do I know if he had facial injuries? You know what, DJ? I don't know. It sure did look like he got in a tussle, though, didn't it? Maybe he got in a tussle. So quick recap. I missed the opening, Jane. So we're talking about the new charges that came out with Barry. We're also talking about a great meeting that Maya and her family had with Chula Vista Police Department. And, of course, the new charges were mutilation or desecration of a body. Also, they charged him with possession of a short rifle. Some folks believe it could be a shotgun, less than 18 inches in length. And so also the new charges will be up on our community page if you're just joining us. But the other one that's pretty significant is it looks like he tried to influence the investigators during the course of this investigation. And what's fascinating about that, it didn't start on May 10th. It started on May 9th. Okay. It started on May 9th. So when you get a chance, go over to our community page. We'll have the new charges up. He has definitely also hired two new attorneys, one Iris Eytan and the other Drew Nielsen out of Eytan Nielsen. Looks like they're partners in this law firm. The public defender's office looks like they reached out to them and brought them on. And so I don't know what that means exactly, other than these two attorneys have represented men who have killed their wives, which, I find that rather, coincidental. Go figure. Okay. So that in of itself says a lot right there. And Ann Miller, so you're a nurse, so I'm going to put this up here. And thank you so much for putting this up here. Yes, I'm a nurse and does those blood dumps. We call them therapeutic phlebotomy. I don't like doing them. So it sounds like he had, maybe this was the rare blood disease that he had, because he goes around and tells everybody, that he's going to check out at 58. And by the way, I heard this from multiple people, not just one. And Barb, you're asking, where is the community page? That's on our YouTube channel at the top. Go up there, hit community, and we've got a lot of neat stuff there. And if you've not had a chance to subscribe, please hit subscription. I think we're getting close to 25. So, it's going to be neat when we hit that, thanks to you. Yeah, charge them with killing their wives, and they got them off. Yeah, exactly, Dana. They got them off. So they were representing men who have been charged with killing their wives, and in a couple of these cases, they got them off. So Raul, it looks like you know who these folks are, and Crystal Kenny's attorney in the Frazee case. Okay, so it sounds like these are some smart gals. So it's going to be a room full of smart women, and they're dangerous. As a former homicide guy who sat next to a lot of DAs who are sharper, sharper than anything I've ever seen. I'd rather go up against a guy, to be honest with you, than some of these women, because they are absolutely incredible in the courtroom. So I'm not going to underestimate Linda for sure. In fact, I think she's going to be one heck of an opponent. She's lined her ducks up, and which I mentioned earlier. If you're just joining us, the fact that they filed this writ to announce that they're changing attorneys and getting these two hired guns to come in. Well, Linda just set a landmine in front of them, and dropped simultaneously two new charges. One of them, mutilation of Suzanne's body, and the second one, possession of a weapon, and then the third one, influencing about 8 or 9 of the investigators, or trying to influence 8 or 9 of the investigators the day before the investigation actually kicked off. So I don't know what that means, but on or about May 9th, Barry already started the game. And so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in that. So Linda's going to be fierce. She's going to be fierce. And remember, she represents the state and Suzanne. So, she represents the state of Colorado and Suzanne. These attorneys only represent Barry. Okay? They only represent Barry. So Linda has to prove a burden beyond a reasonable doubt, not mere doubt, not kind of doubt, beyond a reasonable doubt, which means, would any reasonable person believe that Suzanne went on a bike ride May 10th and disappeared? If the evidence shows that a reasonable person taken to that site and shown the evidence that existed, if a reasonable person came to the conclusion sorry about that, YouTube, modern technology again. So if a reasonable person believed that there's no way she went on a bike ride, okay, that is beyond a reasonable doubt. Okay? It doesn't have to be perfection. Okay? It just means you're reasonable as a juror. As a result, if you went out there, took a look at where this file, keep in mind to Barry what it means in court. He's going to get that opportunity. Okay, but at the same time, okay, the DA gets 2 bites of the apple. So the jury's going to be getting instructions about, what it means to have reasonable doubt and beyond a reasonable doubt. So if you haven't had a chance, go back, take a look at, the video we did about what we learned about Barry in Indiana, because that, I think, could potentially play into the courtroom in the long run, because that's going to give us a mindset for him. And I'll also let you know that I know that there were 4 other folks that his personality was sent to in the very beginning of this investigation, and they all came back with Barry's your guy. So if you measure off some of the things we were saying in the beginning, based on the victimology and based on the victim continuum, I haven't left the house, and I'm not going to leave the house even during the trial. So we're going to see how it goes. Okay. So with that, okay, justice for Maya, that's coming. Okay. This justice for Maya, keep her in your prayers. Okay. Justice for Suzanne, that's coming. Okay. Keep her in your prayers. Keep their family in your prayers. Keep Melinda. Keep Andy. Keep, all the Mormon family. All of them. Please keep them all in your prayers. Keep Mary, Chris. Keep Richard. Keep JP. All of the family members. These are wonderful people. And keep Kelly Brennan in your prayers. Okay. I'm coming. That's coming. Okay. We're coming. I have not forgotten about her in Jacksonville, Florida. Okay. I gave my word, and I'm a man of my word. We're gonna start focusing, towards her as well. The timing's not right. I want to tell you that behind the scenes. Okay. The timing's not right. Okay. So I know some things that we're gonna keep going. Okay. But I haven't forgotten her. Okay. And thank each and every one of you, our channel members. We love you. We're grateful for you. We can't do this without you. You're unbelievable. I can't ask for greater friends. And then simultaneously, our mods, thank you for putting up with these glitches in modern technology. Hopefully we'll get to a better campsite where we won't have these internet issues. But if not, then I'll just do it right from here from the laptop. Okay. So God bless you each. I will see you on Sunday. And so be good to each other. Keep taking care of each other. Let's not deal in speculation, as we always talk about. And oh, by the way, Duty Ron's asked me to be on Thursday night. So I'm going to go visit my brother in New York on Thursday night. So if you get a chance, look us up while I'm over there. Okay. So with that, if you need anything, send me an email. Until that time, aloha, and have a good night. D-Man, I don't know if you can take us out or how this is going to work with the glitches that we had. Probably not. So
hard working every day. I'm stressed out 24/7, babe. No timeouts. Wish we could fly away. You and I go to our favorite place. Oh yeah. Make special memories together.